Hey 49ers fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Chat Sports, and today, let's go ahead and jump into a mailbag video here. We're going to answer all of your guys' 49er questions as left on my previous video, just a couple of days ago, using the hashtag 49ers. So without further ado, these were the best ones. There were a ton. I couldn't get through all of them. So if people ask kind of similar questions, then we just picked one of them. So we'll start with Timothy Martin, who asked, what do you see as the team's biggest needs for the 2020 offseason offense and defense? Okay, so we talked about this a little bit in a previous video a couple of days ago. We talked about all the 49ers free agents. You guys want to check that out, go ahead and click on, go to the channel and check it out there. But my three biggest needs, we'll go and throw them on the screen: safety, offensive line, and wide receiver. We start with the defense because you asked defense and offense. Defense is, to me, pretty darn solid. You can make an argument maybe you draft a cornerback for a future Richard Sherman replacement, but if you're going to go ahead and say what is the one biggest need on defense, it has to be safety, because we don't know how long Jimmy Ward is going to be here, aka will they let go of Jimmy Ward this offseason. We talked about this again a couple of days ago. I have a hard time believing they're going to be able to re-sign Jimmy Ward. I want them to, but if you want to re-sign Emmanuel Sanders and Eric Armstead, then the free agent money doesn't really work for a guy like Jimmy Ward. Very impactful, leader of the defense. He's important, I understand, but at the same time, you might want to go ahead and get someone in the first round, aka drafting a safety by the likes of maybe LSU's Grant Delpit. So safety is definitely number one. Offensive line would be my number one for the offense, because I do have some question marks in terms of who is going to be there long term. Mainly Joe Staley at left tackle, and also Weston Richburg's injury. How good is he going to be able to come back at the right guard spot? I mean, obviously Ben Garland filled in for him for like the remainder, the last 5 games of the year overall. So offensive line is probably number 2, and finally wide receiver, because again, maybe you don't re-sign Emmanuel Sanders and you're left with just Jalen Hurd, Jalen Hurd, Taylor, and then Deebo Samuel is your 1-2-3 punch at wide receiver. You might need to go ahead and get a wide receiver. In terms of biggest offseason needs, can you address them in the draft? You address them in free agency. The draft's going to be tough. We show you guys right here the list of first-round draft picks. As you see, only one first-round draft pick, 31st overall, and none on day 2. No second, no third, no fourth, which means a lot of your work either comes just in the first round or on day 3 of the NFL draft. We got 2 5th, a 6th, and 2 7th-round picks. We broke all this down yesterday on the channel, but essentially, you have needs. Not a lot of needs, but it's going to be hard to go ahead and fill those based on free agent cap space availability and draft picks as well. Number 1 overall need for me still is safety. If Grant Delpit if Grant Delpit is there at 31, the safety out of LSU, I would run that pick up to the commissioner and make him say it as quickly as possible. That'd be a great signing for our 49ers. Question for you guys here. What do you guys think? What is the biggest offseason need our 49ers have? Wait for the ad to go and roll by. A little ad break here. Scroll down, though, while the ad's running and answer this question. What's the biggest 49ers offseason need? Let me know in the comment section down below. All right, moving on here, more questions. It's Pyron asked, if Sanders doesn't get re-signed, do you trust Jalen Hurd, Trent Taylor to fill in for him? Okay, so we talked about Emmanuel Sanders a lot on this channel. He is a free agent. The expected cost is most likely $10+ million a year. We'll break that down in a second. He says he wants to play in San Francisco. He likes playing in San Francisco, so I don't know if that equates to a hometown discount, but at the same time, he's probably going to cost a lot of money. I did the research here. We're going to throw this up on the screen for some players who are making roughly what I expect Emmanuel Sanders to command in free agency. Again, Diggs, Allen Robinson, and T.Y. Hilton are the 3. So Stephon Diggs makes $14.4 million a year. Allen Robinson makes $14 million a year. And T.Y. Hilton makes $13 million a year. So there are your 3 players that make over $10 million a year, or just 3 that I picked. Compare them now to Emmanuel Sanders. Is Sanders better than all 3? Is he better than Hilton and Robinson? Is he not better than Diggs? You can put him wherever you want, but these are comparable contracts that you could see Emmanuel Sanders going, I want to get paid like Stephon Diggs, or I want to get paid like Allen Robinson. So the question is, and this is for you guys, is he worth $14 million a year? Is he worth $13 million a year? Is he worth $9 million a year? You got to figure out where you lie on Emmanuel Sanders' worth, who did have a good season, who was good in some games, average in others. I've talked a lot about that here on this channel. I do not see a scenario where the 49ers would want to pay him $14 million a year. I just don't see it, right? You can go into what is a very heavy wide receiver draft and draft somebody with your first round draft pick. You can move back in the first round, get someone in the second, and go ahead and replace Emmanuel Sanders at a fraction of the cost. Now, the question, again, I'm getting a little bit ahead here. Do you trust Hurd and Trent Taylor? The answer is no. Deebo, Hurd, and Trent Taylor are a nice 1-2-3 punch, but it's not enough. That's why they went out and signed a guy like Emmanuel Sanders. So you got to get somebody, whether it's a cheap cheaper option in free agency, which there will be some, or you go ahead and draft somebody in a later round. I think they need to get somebody, but Emmanuel Sanders at $14 million is just a little bit too much if you guys are asking me. I'll ask you guys this question, though. Would you guys give him, let's say, over $12 million a year? Type Y down below for yes, type N down below for no. Let me know in the comments section down below. Guys, 49ers season's over. We talked about this on every single video since the Super Bowl. You can still bet on other sports. The XFL starts tomorrow. Or technically it starts today, I should say, on Saturday. There's also NBA games. There's NCAA college basketball. There's a ton of great stuff to bet on. Use our friends at BetDSI, chatsports.com/bet. Use the promo code 49ers. Get a 120% deposit bonus whenever you go ahead and sign up for the first time. So, put $100 down, turns into $220, and then you can bet on whatever your heart desires with our friends at BetDSI. Austin Maxwell asked Thomas, do you think the Niners should trade their draft pick or draft a defensive back? And that's the position I think we need. Okay, this is a great question. We kind of just talked about this. Should they trade out of the first round or use 31 to go ahead and draft a defensive back? So I agree with the defensive back safety area. We just talked about that. Like I said, if Delpit's there, then go ahead and take Grant Delpit. If he's not, though, I would trade out of the first round, trade with someone who wants to move back in for a cornerback or move back in for another wide receiver or whatever they want to do. Trade out, pick up an extra second or an extra third-round draft pick. That way, you actually have some decent picks in this draft, right? You gotta weigh. You just how important is 31st overall or like a second and a third-round draft pick, right? Which is a little more important. I would argue a second and third-round draft pick just to add some depth and have some flexibility. It's a deep draft in a lot of places. I think trading out is what I would want to do. But as I said earlier, if Grant Delpit is there at 31 overall, you run the pick up to the commissioner, you hand it to him, you say, get this guy picked quick because it's a steal, in my opinion. Now, draft grades will change when the combine happens, closer to draft. Delpit could slip, he could go higher, I don't know. But right now, my favorite safety in this draft is Grant Delpit. If he's there at 31, I would take him. If not, go ahead and trade out. What do you guys do? Trade out or stay at number 31? Type 1 down below for trade out. Type 2 down below to not trade out. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Pretty interesting answers here. I want to read you guys' comments. Let me know in the comment section down below. Bobby Ramirez, do you think we are going to re-sign Emmanuel Sanders? Just kind of talked about that. This was a very popular question. No, I don't think that we will. Unless he wants to take less than or right at $10 million a year for 2 or 3 years, then no, I would not go ahead and re-sign him. Anything over $12 million, not a chance for Emmanuel Sanders. I don't think he's worth it. He's aging. There are better young wide receivers. Wide receivers are important in this league, but I think the 49ers proved you could technically do it with some good but not elite wide receivers. And the age-old adage, when was the last time an elite wide receiver like a Julio Jones, a DeAndre Hopkins, and Antonio Brown actually won a Super Bowl? Look it up. It's been a very long time since a really good wide receiver actually won anything. You guys are asking me a bunch of questions, so I got a quick question for you guys. Do you have a Valentine's Day gift yet for your special someone? Like your mom, your sister, your girlfriend, your wife, whatever it is. The special lady in your life. Do you have a Valentine's Day gift yet? If you don't, I'll help you out here. Chatsports.com/flowers. We get you 15% off. 15% off any order that you guys want to do. Any order of flowers. Literally, just go to the link in the description. Chatsports.com/flowers. 15% off. Go ahead and help out your ability to not be sitting on the couch on Valentine's Day. I'm trying to help you guys out. You guys ask me questions. My question to you, have you gotten that special someone flowers yet? If not, our friends at Pro Flowers can help you guys out. Chatsports.com/flowers. Use the promo code or just go there and it's 15% off. Okay. Dave Zobel Jr., what's the deal with McKinney, a.k.a. Jerick McKinnon, staying or cutting him? This one's very, very interesting. This was a very popular question for weeks now on our 49ers mailbag video. So here's the deal. McKinnon last played, if you can believe this, in 2017, where he signed that, and then after that season, he signed a $33 million deal with the $30 million deal, with the 49ers, and then eventually tore his ACL that same summer. And it looks like he's had knee complications. He's trying to get back healthy, and a lot of people didn't think he'd be playing ever again. But he did come out and make a quote just the other day saying, quote, "I'm willing to do whatever. This team and my teammates know I want to be a part of this team, this organization. When the time comes, there will be talk between both parties." That talk is a restructuring of his deal. He's about an $8.5 million cap hit in 2020. We're paying about $6.75 million in 2020, so it's basically impossible to just straight up cut him, right? And he's going to be healthy, okay? That's the other thing. He should be healthy and good to go. Very hard to just go ahead and cut him. So I think what McKinnon is hinting at here is a restructuring of his contract. If you would restructure part of that $30 million deal we signed for him a couple of years ago, a couple of off seasons ago, then I think you keep him and see what happens, because you can never have too many good players on your team. So I think they're going to keep him. I think he's going to restructure. He should restructure. That's what I would do, because no one's going to want to trade for a Jerick McKinnon who has an $8.5 million cap hit and like a 6.75 just overall salary for the 2020 season. So hopefully he restructures. That's my question there. What should we do with McKinnon? Let me know in the comment section down, down below. Man, I'm coughing a lot here, trying to roll through these questions. We'll do a couple more. Okay. 6300 asked, what do you think the biggest change for the 49ers will be next season? Biggest change for the 49ers overall? That's a tough question. Changes in, you want to go with like player personnel or overall outlook of the team? Here's the deal. 14 unrestricted free agents, $21 million in cap space. They're not going to be able to keep everybody. I think a big change could be losing Arik Armstead and seeing how Nick Bosa progresses into that, he already was there, but starting defensive line, real superstar on the D-line. He's been able to lean on D Ford, able to lean on Arik Armstead, still balled out, one defensive rookie of the year. But if Arik Armstead leaves, I think that he's going to. What will they do in terms of either replacing him with a draft pick, with a cheaper free agent, or expecting Nick Bosa to go ahead and rise to the occasion to become the next superstar pass rusher in the National Football League? So, I don't know if that answers the question. Biggest change, there's not going to be a lot of changes. It's going to be very similar in terms of the coaching staff, the team, Jimmy Garoppolo, Kyle Shanahan, the running game. Like, it's going to be a very similar team, which won 13 games, so they should be good to go. But I think you're going to lose a couple of in-house players, Sanders and Armstead, which means you might have to go ahead and get a little creative with how you replace them. I'm curious how they're going to go ahead and do that. I'm also curious why you're watching this video if you've not subscribed to the 49ers Report. If you haven't subscribed yet, we're approaching 15,000 subs. Click the red subscribe button down below. We would greatly appreciate it. We'll go one more question. One more here. Because you guys are subscribing right now, I'll do one more question. Rodney Lee. People ask this a lot, so we'll just go ahead and do it. Will Jimmy Garoppolo take a pay cut? No. Why would he? Why would Jimmy Garoppolo take a pay cut? We paid him his ridiculous amount of money, so he's going to accept his ridiculous amount of money and play underneath this great contract. Would you take a pay cut at your job right now if your job offered you a huge deal? No. Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to take a pay cut at all. He might restructure his deal to front load some of the money, aka helping us out on the backside. That would make a lot of sense. It wouldn't hurt him technically. Just move the time frame of the money around. Matt Ryan did this offseason for the Atlanta Falcons, so you could see something like that. But a pay cut, no, not at all. Because again, he knows the team's not going to trade him and they can't cut him. He's going to be a 49er. Don't worry about that. We all like Jimmy Garoppolo, and if you don't like Jimmy Garoppolo, too bad, because he's not taking a pay cut overall. Rodney, I got to answer your question, but I would disagree in terms of the idea that he could take a pay cut. There we go, though. Hopefully that answered as many questions as possible here on the 49ers Report, this mailbag edition. Again, we get like 50 questions in every single video, and I have about 12 minutes to answer as many as possible. So hopefully your question was answered. If not, don't worry about it. Subscribe. Stay up to date when we do another video here, another mailbag video. You get your questions in using the hashtag 49ers, and I'll answer as many as possible. We'll see what happens, though. Offseason is in full swing. Plenty more videos upcoming here on the channel. For Chat Sports, I'm Thomas Mott, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.